Today we're making pop art emojis.
I'm my most amazing artist, Miss Brown here, coming to you from my studio in Brooklyn. Today's project is pop art emojis. Do you know what an emoji is? Where do you see emojis? Did you say on the phone or on the computer? That's right, emojis are little symbols that represent feelings or emotions. That's where the word emoji comes from. So emojis are something that was created for pop culture. So that's why we're going to use them with bright, bold, colorful designs like the pop artists. So today we're going to go through a few different emojis. I'm also going to attach an emoji idea sheet to this presentation for your inspiration. And you're going to create 4 emojis for your design. And those emojis can be based on how you're feeling right now. We're going through some really unusual times, so we might want to create emojis that reflect what we're really feeling. And there's days where we're feeling really happy, and there's days where we're going to feel sad and frustrated. And all of those can be represented in our emoji pop art design. You can see from mine, not all 4 of them are happy faces, right? And I also changed up the colors quite a bit to use different bright colors like the pop artists. Sometimes when we see emojis on the computer or on the phone or on the iPad or whatever, they're all yellow. So I wanted to make my emojis in unusual, bright, bold colors like pop art. So my first emoji is representing the love, because I feel right now I'm surrounded by my family and support of my friends and my coworkers. And then my second emoji that I did is actually a little bit of kind of unsettled and frustrated and maybe a little bit sad, because I can't see some of my friends in real life and I don't like being stuck inside. So that was my second emotion. My third emoji is going to be silly, because we've been doing lots of fun things with having dance parties and playing games at home and getting silly with our families. And sometimes I even have silly Zoom calls with my friends. And the last one is a birthday emoji. It's not my birthday though, it's actually going to be my son's birthday this month. So I thought it would be really fun to put a birthday emoji in, and I created that one on my own. It wasn't on the idea sheet. And same with this one, I combined 2 different emojis to create this one. So you can think about how you can combine, how you can change the emojis to make them how you want them. So here's just a little example. I have happy, scared, silly. This is sort of frustrated or mad, loving, and this last one here is sad with a little tear on it. So you can think about how you can modify or change them to make your own emoji design. There is one special supply that you probably are going to go need to find, and that is going to be some sort of object to trace a circle. So you can either use a coffee mug, a cup, a lid, a small bowl or plate, something that's a perfect circle. We are going to be using, I'm demonstrating on 8.5 by 11, but I'm going to show you how to get it down to a square, and then I'll show you how to mark out the 4 squares using some folding techniques so that you make sure you get 4 equal squares. So I will go ahead and put the supplies in the next slide, and then we will get started right away. I think you're really going to have a lot of fun with this.
The supplies you will need for today's project are a pencil, scissors, white paper, a black marker, colorful markers or crayons, a circular object to trace, and an optional ruler. So now that we've explored all of these fun emotions through emojis, we're going to create our own pop art emoji. First thing you're going to need is a sheet of white copy or construction paper, whatever paper you have on hand. We're going to take the upper right hand corner, holding it horizontally, we're going to fold down. We're going to make a triangle. This is going to allow us to make the paper into a square. You're going to go ahead and get your scissors. You're going to cut off this extra piece. Put it to the side. Now you have your square piece of paper. Notice it does have a diagonal line running down the middle. That's really not gonna matter because we're gonna make 2 more folds. Gonna fold it down to create a center line, and then we're gonna fold it to the side so that we have now created 4 boxes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So just like the pop art we looked at of Andy Warhol, you're going to create 4 paneled piece. And if you don't have a ruler, you can actually use this as your straight edge, the extra piece of paper. So using your black marker, go ahead and trace the 2 folds. You're not going to trace the diagonal folds, and you'll see why in a minute. And you can just clean up those lines. Okay, so you have your 4 boxes. Now for the next step, you need to find a round object that will fit in each of the squares. So depending on how big your paper is will depend on what kind of circle you need. So I'm using actually just a coffee mug, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over, and centering it, I'm gonna trace with a pencil first. Now obviously I have to get around that handle, so I'm gonna go low. I'm gonna trace 4 circles, trying to put them the best I can in the center of the squares. Again, I'm using pencil for a reason, so if I need to change anything, I can. Okay, so we traced our circle 4 times. Okay, so we have our 4 circles traced in pencil, and I'm not gonna quite trace in the black Sharpie yet because I want to put in the colors that I like for my emojis. Because the black, especially if I have only black Crayola, I don't want, if I'm making a yellow emoji especially, I don't want the colors to blend. I want them to stay separated. So if you have a black Sharpie, that's obviously gonna be the best for the outlining. But I wanna go ahead and pick some fun colors. You don't have to make your emojis yellow. They can be whatever colors you want. But before I color them, I need to plan. So we looked at a lot of different types of faces that we could make with our emojis. You can obviously create your own. Remember, we are working in the circle format, so it does need to be a face. So I think for mine, for my first one, I wanna say that I feel really loved during this time because I'm around my family and I feel like I have a lot of support from my family and my students and my friends. So I'm actually gonna put my first emoji as the love emoji. So I'm gonna have my smile, and then I'm gonna do the heart eyes. So my first emoji is representing love. So for my second emoji, I think I wanna put like a little bit, I also feel a little bit frustrated during this time because we can't go outside and do all of the things that we've been wanting to do. So I think the little emoji with the eyebrows to the side is gonna be the one I'm gonna use for that. And I'm gonna kind of make it my own. I'm gonna make the eyebrows actually a shape so that I can color them in. So I'm like a little bit frustrated, also a little bit sad. So I'm gonna have my mouth kind of wavy. And that wasn't actually on one of the emojis, I'm actually creating that on my own. So for my third and fourth one, let's see, what other things have I been feeling a little bit during this time? I'm also feeling a little silly because we're doing dance parties and we're doing lots of things at home. playing games. So I think I'm gonna also have a silly winky emoji. And for that, I'm gonna do the face that had the tongue. And if you need help coming up with different emojis, you can also use the sheet that I have attached to help you come up with your own designs. And I actually want to put some eyelashes on that, even though that's not on the real emoji or the emoji on the sheet. I'm gonna make it my own. And then I am going to do, for the last one actually, a birthday emoji because it is going to be my son's birthday in May. So I want to have an emoji with a party hat because we are going to be celebrating his birthday. So try to keep each of the emojis in their respective boxes. And I think for the birthday emoji, it's going to make it like a really big happy face. And maybe even little bow on this emoji. Okay, so there I have it. I have my 4 emoji faces. Now I'm ready to go ahead and start coloring. If you have whatever coloring material you have, I'm gonna use marker. You can use crayons, colored pencils, a combination. It's totally up to you, but that's your choice. So I'm gonna go ahead and color first the designs of the emojis, and then we'll do a black outline after that. I'll see you back here in just a minute. Okay, so I have everything that I wanted colored on my actual emojis, and now I'm gonna go in with my black outlines on the actual emojis. So this is also gonna clean up any little mistakes or things that I'm not happy with. You can use a regular Crayola for this as well. I just happen to like Sharpie. And these I'm gonna color in. And I'm gonna trace around the outsides as well in just a minute. Remember, I did those little eyelashes. And this is where you also could fill in any areas that you wanted solid black. Okay, and now I'm going to pick my background colors before I trace the outer section of the circle so that it doesn't smudge. So I'll get to that in just a moment. So now I'm ready to pick my background colors to make my emojis pop out. Remember, one of the objectives of the pop artist was to make things really stand out against the background. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I haven't outlined my circles yet. I'm gonna save that for the end, but I'm gonna go ahead and color my background colors, and I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so the final step is going to be going back in with the black marker and putting the outlines around my emojis. And obviously when you're working with marker, you want to have something underneath. I'm using this cutting mat, but you might have an extra sheet of paper or what have you. Just going to trace around. And that's going to emphasize those features. Things like the eyebrows that I did in different colors. Eyes are already done here. And see, that's also going to help clean up my edges. So I had some of my blue from my background blend over. So it's just going to clean up. I'm going to actually put in the lines for the stripes. And you can make it thicker or thinner depending on your personal preference. You notice when I'm doing circles though, I do turn my paper. That really helps me get the circle more accurate. All right, so my emoji design is all finished and I am ready to hang it up on my wall. And this is going to be a reminder to me of how I was feeling at this time during these difficult and uncertain times. I can find love, I can find happiness, I can find silliness, and it's okay if things are a little uneasy sometimes or I feel a little frustrated. That's totally normal. I hope you had a lot of fun with the emoji project and we'll see you back here really soon.
I hope you enjoyed today's lesson and had a really great time making your pop art emojis. I'm so curious to see which emotions you put into your design. I hope you will share it with me, and if you want to make another one, you could put them on your wall and make them all together, but I'm really excited to see which ones you chose and how you made your emojis unique and standing out. Have a great rest of your day.